there's separation and there's some space. So when that gets closed, would you?
Yeah, it's gonna be probably 2 weeks.
I'm showing them a place in Stewartville today. Just to get out there and to talk.
So for them, it's just a matter of decluttering, and when I talked to them the other day, hey, get your stuff into the storage room, half of the garage, and then the other stuff, you can like sell or whatever, but they're not that far off.
Well, my people are doing this selling.
Oh, really? That's something they do.
They have their own stuff they have.
This place is good.
I love it.
Listen.
Pictures.
Nathan inherited us from Oregon. 2 weeks after we got married. We're living in this tiny little, we called it 5 steps to anywhere, and now we have to fit a dang organ in that place. We have
5 steps to anywhere.
Pretty few issues over there.
Good evening, Kelly Williams. Marty Miller with Summit Property Group.
I just wanted to test the volume.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. So this one's gonna be a little bit different than the ones in the past. So in the past, I've kind of on a big scale, kind of gone over this is what Command is. There's things you can do here, the different components of it. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into some of the additional features today. Stuff that will be pretty much applicable almost immediately, and stuff that's practically pretty much brand new for the most part. So some of it too, I'm gonna have videos play that show and walk you through it to make it a little bit easier to comprehend, and so that thank you for bringing me lunch.
I don't know.
That's okay, don't worry about it. And I'll also show you guys where you can go back to access the videos so that you can rewatch them kind of at your leisure and always kind of have them at your fingertips. Okay. First one's pretty simple. This has to do with the fact that we all know about our referral network, and chances are you may have used it, and if you have, you probably used it within the U.S. But this is showing you now that it's been expanded to include other countries. So Canada, for example, if you know of somebody that's looking to buy in Canada or Mexico or what have you, if they're within our Keller Williams network, you can pull them up on the referral network and put them in touch with someone internationally, which is pretty remarkable. And very easy to do. So we'll watch a video on how to do that very quick.
Houston, Texas. Super excited to bring you another Keller Williams Command training video, and even more excited with the announcement that I heard today that KW referrals on the Command platform is now international. So super excited to show you kind of what that looks like. If we click on referrals from the Command platform, and we're going to go up to map here at the top. Now let's just take Belize, for example, a place I've always wanted to travel to. Say I had someone that wanted to move there, I had a referral, or maybe somebody that I knew in Belize that wanted to move here, etc. I need an agent in Belize, bottom line. So I could type in Belize. It's going to pull up all the different styles of Belize. Let's just go with the general one. It's going to zoom me into Belize. First thing I want to do, I want to zoom out, because especially internationally, there usually are only maybe 1 or 2 market centers in the entire country or area. So you want to make sure you can see it all at once. The other thing we want to do is change from production to market centers. So you can see it did a quick search. It did find a market center in Belize in San Ignacio. If you click on that market center, you're going to see 19 agents are at that market center, and then you're going to be able to see their production. Now I could go through with 19 pretty easily and do referral requests to each one of them if I wanted, or I could look at their stats and then decide based upon their stats who I'd like to send my referral to. So you can just kind of go through this list and see how many closed units they have, how many of those were listings, how many of those were buy sides, etc. And of course you have their email address, so you could always reach out to them specifically to communicate a little bit further about that. But you would just send the referral the standard way as you would send a referral in the US. If you're interested in learning more about where Keller Williams is, KW Worldwide does have its own website, kwworldwide.com. And you can come here basically and then click on each one of these dots and explore further where Keller Williams is outside of the US. So kind of cool. You can click on it and see, okay, where are we? If it turns red, we are in that area. So you can see that we are in KW France, and you can kind of go back out and then keep going and just kind of see where is Keller Williams? If you want to know that we do family reunions abroad, here's a quick list of where those are. Kind of cool just to learn more information about Keller Williams worldwide and where we are located. So to do more, play with the global locations. You can actually download a map here. I haven't done this, and yet let's.
Where do you find that?
If you go to kwworldwide.com. So fairly cool. I mean, if and when the opportunity presents itself to refer outside of the country, honestly, I probably wouldn't know where to go. I'd try to start some Googling, but to know I can just pull that up, seamlessly integrate into our network, and have click the button reverse somebody is pretty remarkable. So that was an easy warm up. Now we're going to transition to something that's a little bit more, so we'll take another baby step forward. This is a new feature regarding the database, which I think is actually pretty cool. It will work well to motivate us and get us in line with people that are producing at a high level.
Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the Keller Williams Command training video series. My name is Marty Miller with Summit Property Group in Houston, Texas, and here to talk to you about some changes to the reporting tab. So if we come down to reports or reporting, the bar graph here, we've got a couple of cool things that are happening in that applet. I know that most realtors, at least the ones that I know and work with, are somewhat competitive, if not highly competitive. And we now have the ability to essentially compare our database health and database activity scores with other agents. And we do that by coming to the database health section first. You'll see there's this compare toggle, and we can toggle that on. And it now is going to compare my personal numbers, which are listed here in green or red, with agents in my market center. I can also select agents in my state, all agents in Keller Williams, agents in my production, and then top producing agents. So I like to go after the best. So let's say top producing agents. You can see that in my database, 97% of my contacts have phone numbers, while top agents have 77%, 99% have emails, 81% of top agents, 73% of my contacts have addresses, 21% of top agents do. So I will be transparent. I have not done a full import of my database. Right now I'm working with mainly the agents in my market center and then agents that I'm reverse prospecting with. These numbers will come down, so I'm certainly not trying to brag, as a lot of my contacts right now reside in a CSV file, and I'm working towards completing them there. And yet I'm certainly not at 73% on that CSV file with my other contacts. And yet this is a great way. And as soon as I get that CSV file completely cleaned up, I'll do an import. These numbers will come down, which will cause me to be competitive and want to bring them back up. Therefore, doing lead generation based upon addresses and getting all of my contacts complete contact information. Definitely want to be adding them to neighborhoods, find out their home anniversary and birthdays. The second section that we can compare with is the database activity. So we did database health. Second down here is database activity. And it basically tells you, okay, based upon the contacts that you have in your database, how many of them have you reached the last 0 to 30, 31 to 60, 61 to 90, or more than 91 days. I'll be honest with you, I'm not real happy about this 67.8% number. And yet I do have some clear-cut work to do to contact people in my database. So I can click on compare. Now, the only thing that makes me feel a little bit better about this is that this number is actually lower than all of the categories that I can choose from. So agents in my state, 92.4% haven't reached out in more than 91 days. All agents in my production level, and then even top agents, you can see when we're being transparent, right? So sounds like as a company, we all have a little bit of work to do with regards to reaching out and contacting our database. You can also see when this report was last pulled. So it was pulled this morning at 7 a.m. As I understand, this gets updated daily once. So if you are a highly competitive person or want to see immediate results, just know that you would have to check back in the next day. If I did a fierce day of lead generation on Monday and wanted to see these numbers change immediately, I would have to wait until the next day to see how I was comparing against other agents. So kind of a cool function of Keller Williams Command. If you are in a, Keller Williams productivity coaching program.
So let me ask you, how is that helpful? How is it useful to you? Granted, obviously some of those statistics are probably what they are because not everybody is using the system how is that a tool that is useful to you, or in what ways is it useful?
You get your barometer on where some of the top producers are at and where you should be, where you should be going.
Definitely gives you some self-awareness.
Yeah.
Right, because it's one thing for you to look at your database and know what your numbers are, it's another thing for you to start comparing it across your market center, your city, your state. I'm just gonna skip right to top producers immediately. Say, how do I fall in line with that? And so if you can see where your business and where your activities or where your database and your activities, if you can see how they compare to a group like top producing agents, what does that afford you and what can you do with that information?
I must have missed something. I just hit compare. I don't know how you do it with people locally or people nationally.
Yeah, so go to,
We'll make the sign. Down
you
here.
know, drop down. Click on, okay, scroll that, you click compare again. And now click that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Then you go down to top producers and see more ones. I would do all agents actually.
All eight.
Yep. And you go down further, you can, yeah, here, you can do, top producing agents. Well, I think it's important and relevant because, you know, we're a company that's, you know, the foundation of everything that we do, preach, teach, and train and coach on is the MREA. Right?
What is MREA?
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Red Book, right?
Yeah.
But how often do we actually crack that thing open? And how often do we visit it and then try to implement it in our business? Not very often. It's rare. So anything that I can do or anything I can tap into that allows me to see where my business compares or how it is in relation to their business is extremely helpful and gives me some great insights, right? And it would be more interesting to do those comparisons when more people are embracing the command system to run their business. Right now, people are still sort of migrating to it. What I like about it too is if, let's say you have a newer agent or an agent that's been around for a few years and having an off year, I can say, great, get into command. Let's compare your database. Let's compare your activities to other agents. Okay, great. Here, the people that are doing the production you desire to do have this many more contacts and are doing this many more activities compared to you. So what do you need to fix in order to get your business where you want it to be? Absolutely. It's all about it. So there's all kinds of ways you can utilize that, right? A team can utilize it, right? So this one seems pretty simple on the surface, but I think if you dive into it, you start asking yourself, great, what does this mean for me? How do I utilize it, or how do I use it to help me in my business? That's a big one. I'm always looking at, first question I want to know is who's number one or who's doing it the best? Okay, great. Where am I in relation to that? Okay, great. Now I can come up with a plan to close that gap. Right? And this is one of those tools that will help you do that. Anything else on this one? I had no idea this one was coming down the pipeline. I thought it was pretty cool. It's like database compare. What does that mean? All right, now we're going to get a little bit more into the weeds. And this one, so this has to do with the ability to do bulk text messaging to your database from within command. Pretty awesome tool.
That is awesome.
Pretty awesome tool, right? Now on the front end, I'll tell you, I started to experiment with this a little bit myself, and it might involve signing up with a third-party service provider. He references that in the video. I still need to figure out if there's like a completely free version and if there's another version because he talks about like a personalized local phone number. So bear with me on that, but just conceptually watch the video and take it for what it's worth because chances are right now you don't have the ability to bulk text with anything that you utilize, and if you do, it's probably costing you some money. Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Well, I'm thinking of it before.
Good afternoon, Keller Williams. It's Mark.
Why don't you explain the MailChimp thing?
Yeah, the email, did you get email about, yeah, so my assistant was like, hey, we need to take a look at this. I haven't received any charges or anything, but I still have to do that myself. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think she said it had something to do with MailChimp change something or other, I don't know. I was like, do I even have a card on, I don't think I even have a card on file with it, but I have to look at it.
Everything I'm doing is free.
Yeah, same here.
2,000, so.
Yeah, same here. So I'll have to take a look. Or maybe some people were going over that limit, the amount of emails they were sending. Said, so that's great. Now Gary's gonna have to buy MailChimp.
Marty Miller with Summit Property Group
Welcome,
in Houston,
Gary.
Texas, bringing you another command training video. And today we're going to talk about bulk texting. Bulk texting is up and running. I'm super excited. I've previously been using Haymarket, which is a service that I have to pay for in order to send out bulk text. And now I have the ability to do that within command. So to send a bulk text, we're going to start with a service that I have to pay for in order to send out bulk text. And now I have the ability to texting. Bulk texting is up and running. I'm super excited. I'd previously been using Haymarket, which is a service that I have to pay for in order to send out bulk text. And now I have the ability to do that within command. So to send a bulk text, we're going to start in our contacts submenu. We're going to have our contacts listed already within, right, obviously here. So we want to figure out who we want to send out those texts to. So lately I've been sending out texts to everybody that is in my coaching program as a productivity coach. So I could do a filter, and I want to choose a custom tag, and I have them tagged as KWP. Let's do P coaching program. There we go. Right. So I want to apply that filter. I want to see all of my coaching clients. There are 66 of them. So I'm going to be able to send one group text to the first 50, and then I'll have to click on the next 16 and send that text to the next group. So we can only text as many as will show on the screen at once. So that is 50 right now. We're going to pull that up in a second. It will show all 50, and then we should be able to send out that bulk text. When you receive replies back from the bulk text, they are going to show up in Kelly. And in a second, I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. I'll share my iPhone screen so you can see what that looks like. So it looks like our filter didn't go through. Let me attempt that one more time. KWP, coaching program, apply. And let me see if I can get to 50, see if it'll show up. There we go, perfect. So I've got 50 contacts, 1 through 50. If I click on this box to the left of first name, it's going to check all of the contacts that are showing. All 50 of them are checked. And I can select bulk action, send bulk SMS. All right, so you can see it has all of their names and phone numbers there listed. I can type in the message. Hey guys, just a reminder that Boiler Room is every Monday through Friday morning, 9-12. If I haven't, I'll probably help if I type this ahead of time. Haven't seen you lately. I'd love to see you soon. Thanks, Marty. Now, the number that it's coming from is not going to be your personal cell phone number. So there's a very good chance that the number it's coming from is a number they're not going to recognize. So I would definitely recommend in the body of the text, you identify who you are. I have gone through Twilio and actually purchased my own local number. The majority of you are going to have a 512 number. And I will say that purchasing a local number and having it switched to Keller Williams is kind of a hit or miss. It's really, you have to go through Twilio. Half the time I've seen success, and half the time I've seen people where they end up with a customer service rep that doesn't know how to do that or says that they won't do that. So if you do incur that with Twilio, my recommendation would just be do it again, call back and see if you get a different service rep that can take care of that. So we're going to send out this SMS. That's going to send it to all 50 of those people in my coaching program. I'm actually going to highlight this real quick, copy it. We'll wait for a second.
So pause there real quick and touch on a few things that he said. So he said, yep, you can bulk text, and it's not going to come from what?
Your personal number.
Yeah, it's not going to come from your personal cell phone number, which I'm actually kind of okay with. I'm going to talk about how the texts come back in a minute. But he said it's going to come from an area code 512. But if you want a personal, a local number, you can do what? Yeah. There's a service provider called.
Like it's super like.
It's called Twilio. Yep, and it's a company that's designed to build this into websites and such. So they're using their kind of platform or service to do this, but it's through command. So it sounds like you can call. You might have to call a couple times to get the right person that'll help you do it. But you can get a local number, so the texts are at least coming from a 507 or a 612 or a 952 or a 763, right? That would be something to look at. Or you can just continue with the 512, do whatever it is that you'd like to do. So that's just one of the takeaways I wanted to make sure that we highlighted as we continue to go on here.
Send that text out. While that does, I do want to show you kind of what it looks like when it comes back. So that text just went out. Actually, let's just go ahead and do this. Let's do the next 16 just so we can knock that out. I'm gonna click on them. Again, bulk action, send SMS, type the message, paste that one in and send that SMS. So I just sent that out to 66 people. Now we might actually see the replies coming back in as we look at this. So this is actually Kelly on my phone, right? So this is the Kelly home screen. If I click on the top right-hand corner, that little bell icon, right, I'm going to get my notifications. If I scroll down, you can see I was testing this a couple of days ago, and these are where the texts are coming back in. So you can see I actually text Sarah and say, give me a text back when you get a moment, and she texts me back when you get a moment. So those are the kind of friends I have, guys. This is a great example. So I actually text my team leader, Randy, and I didn't give him my name. I just said, hey, what's up? Do you have some time to talk? Something like that. I don't remember what the text was from command. And he said, yes. And who is this? Because he didn't have that Twilio number saved in his phone. So super important that you do identify yourself in the text that you are sending out. And this is what the reply will look like. Now I'll say, let's just do Sarah, right? So I can click on view Sarah's reply, and it'll actually ask me, do I want to reply back to Sarah? So I can say, yes, reply. It'll say, what's the reply? I can click on the keyboard in the bottom left or the microphone. I usually have better success with the keyboard, and say, hey, it's Marty again. Testing bulk texts, whatever, right? Whatever the reply is, you could send that. Now, when you send that out, it says, here's a preview. Is that what you want to send? Now, so read it, make sure it's spelled correctly, kind of proofread it, make sure it's good. If I want to send it, I can. If I want to change it, I can, or I can cancel it. So I'm going to go ahead and click send it. And that's going to go ahead and send off that message. Now, I'm not sure what type you would like to add, what that is yet. I do know that that text has gone through, as I have tested it before. Okay, so when someone gives you a reply, again, it's only going to show up in Kelly for the time being. However, you'll see that you get an update, and there you go. So there's a new one, right? Jesus just literally a minute ago replied back to that text that we sent out, and he said, thank you. One last thing that I would make sure that you do for your Kelly notifications to make sure that you see them when they pop up if you're not in Kelly is to go into your settings and then click on notifications and then go down and choose Kelly. I have a lot of apps. There we go. Click on Kelly, and then you see how banner style right there in the middle, I clicked on persistent. That basically means that alert is going to show up on my iPhone, and it's not going to go away until I dismiss it. So that way, if my phone isn't next to me or I'm looking away or something, it's not going to just pop up for 2 seconds and then go away. Anytime I get a notification on Kelly, it's going to stay on my phone until I dismiss it. So I'd highly recommend adding that in. Guys, that's basically it. That is the command challenge, or not challenge. I guess we're not doing those anymore. The command training video.
Thoughts on that?
Question.
Yeah.
So it's a 512 number, but every time I send a text out like this, will it be
Same
the
number.
same 512? So I can ask people to
Say,
create a contact, and this is my work.
Yep.
Essentially a work
Yep.
contact.
okay, so that's my understanding. That
Yeah.
is my understanding.
Okay.
Do they know it's a bulk text, or do they think it's just coming from you?
They
Or do they,
some people will probably kind of know, but unless you tell them, or you say, hey, everybody, they're not going to know it's bulk text. They're going to think it's coming just to them, right? The only thing that might clue them into it is the fact that it's coming from maybe a different number they have for you. But if they don't have a number for you at all, then they just need to text them, right? Now, the only drawback is if they go to try to call that number, they're obviously not going to get you, so I have a Google number right now that I utilize. And so if I call from it, it still shows a good number that they can call me back on. If somebody texts that number, I still get it to my phone.
If
Right.
someone were to call that number, what actually happens?
I don't know. I have to find out.
can you set up where your actual number goes to this?
He kind of alluded to that he thinks that's coming down the pipe.
Okay.
He said, as of right now, it just comes to Kelly. So my guess is they're kind of trying to they're going to try to probably make it somewhat like a Google number,
Yeah.
where it will still come to your phone. Honestly, I'm okay with either way, because what I like about this is, and I'll have to experiment with it some more, but your texting communication will be captured under that contact.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice because sometimes I'll go to my texts. I'm terrible about actually saving people as a number. And so I might not be able to find our dialogue, or got cut off, or something weird happened. Whereas this, if all of my conversation via texting is within the app under that contact, I'll always be able to revert back to it and see what we discussed to remind myself. Right, that's something I like about it. Plus two, and that means I'm not getting texts at all hours of the night, right? Because it's coming into my system. And oh, by the way, it means I don't have to be the one to go in and respond to it. Anybody can log in and do it, right? Just something else that I kind of like.
And correct me if I'm wrong, people respond to text more than any form of communication.
I think so, especially Clark, when you ask them a question. That's the key. You have to ask them a question in the text message. I get, that's the quickest and easiest way to get a response. Because think about it, there are times where you might be on your computer working, and then you get an email or a phone call, and you don't respond right away. But in the same moment you're doing that, somebody texts you something quickly, and you just respond yes, and keep doing your thing. It's almost an automatic force of habit just to answer it, put it back. And heck, nowadays they come to people's wrists.
So
Right?
could you do a video text?
That I don't know. No, but
That's super effective as well.
it is, and if you notice, it said that you could drag something.
Right, that's the file. That's why I'm like, if you could save,
A video.
because I would do that with contacts every, few months. I'd say, hey, I'm
Right.
sitting in my office,
Right.
and I would just paste it to a
Or
bunch of
Gary,
people.
or you would text them the link.
My
Yeah, but
iPhone,
You
you'd
do a
rather
video,
have-
you put it on YouTube, make it private or something, or whatever. Or you have it on Facebook, whatever, and you just text them the link to it, and they click the link and they watch the video.
Yeah.
You can text them the link to a website. Hey, check out this amazing new home for sale.
used to be able to do that on iPhone, but they took it away.
Took what away?
Having the link or having the little thing on the iPhone where you can text a video.
Are you sure about that? I think you can still text a video. It might, the length of it or the size might determine whether or not it's able to go through. You can sure do a link. But for me, like, it's great for prospecting, and like he was using just to coordinate stuff, right? It's also great for events, or hey, register at this website to come to whatever. Hey, we're having an open house. There's so many things that you can do with this that will maximize your opportunity to get in front of people and build relationships and capture information. Because this is the way that communicating is sort of going.
I expect a
I guess.
video text.
Huge tool, and I would say, get creative. There's so many different ways you can utilize it. So many. You can even use it internally with a team, for example, right? And group text too, which is nice. But if you want to try to keep it separate, that's something you can do. Anything else on that? So now here's another. You don't have to do this, but here's another approach he takes on bulk texting that might be of interest to you. Reverse prospecting.
Can I just say something else nice?
Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome to
Is for, most of us have a phone number for every single contact.
Yeah.
We might not have the email, we might not have the address, but we certainly have a phone number for everybody, right?
Mhm.
So anyway.
No, absolutely. And how easy would it for you to be to put a reminder in your system? I mean, how awesome would it be if someday we could have the system just automatically text them happy birthday, or automatically text them happy home anniversary? And look at that, would be amazing, right? But what you could do is set reminders for yourself in your database to ping this stuff, and then just shoot them a text or a phone call, whatever it is that you prefer. But as much of it that can be automated, the better. I would love for them to get an automatic email that does that too, right? This is all about tying all this stuff into one singular spot and then clicking a button so that you never have to think about it for the rest of your life. It will just automatically do this stuff for you, right? And oh, by the way, for no crazy additional outrageous fee, right? That's the big thing. That's the big thing. And in one stop shop.
this Keller Williams Command training video regarding reverse prospecting using bulk texting. My name is Marty Miller with Summit Property Group here in Houston, Texas, and wanted to kind of use a real life scenario that I am working through right now with one of my listings. As a member of the Houston Association of Realtors, our MLS actually provides what's known as a reverse prospecting list. So this is what it looks like. Essentially, these are all of the realtors who have at least one client with a showing set up, a search setup that includes my newest listing on Orchard Miss out in Fairfield. So what I'd like to do is send each one of these agents a text message letting them know, hey, you have a client who just viewed my latest listing and I'd love for you to set up a showing. So I'm going to utilize KW Command to help me do that. And I'm going to walk you through the process here live. So first thing I'm going to do is, whoops, not that. I'm going to highlight all of this information. So we're going to start with agent, and we're going to scroll all the way down. You can pretty much do this with any kind of grid list that you may have, depending on what your MLS looks like. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come into my blank Excel worksheet. Whoops, excuse me, that's the command one. Here's the blank one. And then I'm going to paste that information. So A1, there we go. There the paste comes across. So you can see I have the agent name, reference number, pre-approved, count, date sent. None of that's really important, but I do have the agent's email, the agent's office name, and then the agent's phone number. So what I'm going to do is create each one of these as a contact in my command database. So the first thing I want to do is I want to insert a row, insert one sheet row. And again, this is for formatting purposes so that it kind of looks the same. I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to take out, if I right click, I can remove the hyperlinks. I don't want to post any hyperlinks into command. And then I'm going to come through and basically widen out all of these columns that I need. And that way they will paste friendly when everything comes over into the command database. And then let's just go through again. I'm just kind of cleaning this up before I put it into command because I want it to look good and be able to be easily read. All right, so now I have their information. I have their email address. I have their office number here. We can widen that out just a little bit further. There we go. Now everything fits on one line, and I have their phone number. So first thing I'm going to do is click on column A. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come into my command database, and I'm going to put it where first name is. And then I'm going to make sure that agent goes back to first name there. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into that spreadsheet that I created, and I'm going to pull out their email. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to come back into the command. Oops, let's go over command. And we're going to find email. That one I don't have to change because it actually says email there as well. Next, let's go in, book 4. So office name, I'm going to put that into the notes section. It'll just help me know where their office is. So I'm going to come all the way over and find notes here in my command spreadsheet. And I'm going to post that there. I see that it says notes. So I'm going to go back and write that in. And then let's see, I've got their telephone number here at the very end. So we're going to copy that. It says direct work phone, and yet that should be their cell phone number. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to come back to where it is cell number. There it is, mobile phone. So let's post that in, and we're going to change that back to mobile phone. All right, so now I have their first name, which is listing first and last. We'll correct that here in a second. I've got their mobile phone. I've got their email. I've got a note telling me what brokerage they're with. Now I know all of these people are going to be agents, so I can click on Y here, and I can paste that all the way down. And there we go. So now it's going to tag all of these people as agents. Now, when I send my bulk text, I want to be able to pull just this group out of command. So I'm going to put in a custom tag, and I'm going to call this Orchid Mist RP for reverse prospecting. So I want that tag to be added to every single one of these contacts. So I can scroll all the way down to the bottom there and make sure that that is now included as a tag on all of these clients. Maybe I'm recording a video. I'll come get you in just a second, okay? Sorry guys, that's real life with twins. So there you go. If you thought that every video was recorded perfectly every time, now you know that's not the case. All right, so first let's split up these names. Okay, so we want to do that. We've got first name. We want to highlight all of those. We want to come to data and text 2 columns. Delimited is correct. We want it on space and general. And we can click on finish. And that's going to move the majority of these into the, you can see the middle name category. So now let's highlight all of these rows, and we're going to sort by last name, which is column C. So sort by, let's see if it'll do last name. There we go. Okay, so there's only one person that actually had a middle name or surname, if you will. So we're going to copy all of these, and actually let's cut them all. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to paste them there. All right, so now we have everybody with their last name there. I do think I saw a couple of people without phone numbers. Yep, so Robin Jones, no phone number, so that's okay. We're going to come in and we're going to delete those rows because remember the point of this was for me to send out group texts. And then let's go through and let's go ahead and sort by first name, data sort. I want to make sure I don't have any duplicates because I don't want anyone coming into my database more than once. So it was May, I think. Let's see. All right, so let's look through. So here's a good example. When Lee is in here 3 times, we only need them in here once. So we're going to delete 2 of those rows and then just kind of look through and make sure that nobody else is in here more than once. So I don't get any duplicates. So Justin is in here twice. We'll delete that one out. Again, just kind of cleaning up this spreadsheet. And you can do this, like I said, with any kind of list or chart that you have with information. We're just really blessed here in Houston with an MLS that provides us with that information with regards to reverse prospecting. Last thing I want to do, let's go ahead. It asks me one of the things I can tag is Keller Williams agents. So let's sort all of these guys. And if I come over, right, remember my notes section had what brokerage they were with. That was column AV. So I'm going to sort by, and it's going to be column AV, which will show there. So now I should be able to come way over here, find the brokerages, and looks like we have several Keller Williams. So Keller Williams agent was column AP right here. So I'm going to come down to column AP, and I'm going to put a Y. Oops, if I missed one. I'm going to put a Y on all of these that were Keller Williams agents. So I have them in there as well. All right, so now I have all of that done. I'm going to go ahead. I've got, let's just double check, right? I've got first name, middle name, last name. I've got their mobile phone. I've got their email address. I've got custom tags set up for the reverse prospecting on the address they're on. If they were an agent, we've marked it yes. If they're a KW, we've marked it yes. And then I've got notes for their office. I should need that in the future. All right, so I'm going to come to File, Save As. And we're going to call this Orchid Mist Reverse Prospecting. Let's save that in the listing folder for Orchid Mist. And, oops, sorry guys, 1 second, and we'll get this right. Orchid Mist Reverse Prospecting. All right, so now we've got that saved. So we can come back to Command. And let's jump in there. Here is Command. We want to go into our contacts. We're going to go into Import. We're going to click here. We're going to find that file, which was in the Orchid Mist file. Here we go. And there it is. Pull up that folder. We're going to open it. And then we're going to Import Contacts. Let's see how it goes. All right, so it says submitted. We've received your request. The contacts will be available soon. That was only about 60, 65 contacts, and I'm finding that that short of a list is coming in rather quick. So we're going to click on Finish. Next, we can click on Filters, Custom Tags. Remember, we tagged them all as Orchid Mist. So Orchid Mist Reverse Prospecting. I can come down, click on Apply, and if it came in, there it is, right? So 1 through 10 of 54 contacts that came across. You can see if they were an agent, they're all tagged as agents. If they're also a Keller Williams agent, they've been tagged as a Keller Williams agent as well. I'm going to now click on Show 50. I'm going to check all of them as soon as they come up here. Take a second to load. Let's check all, which allows me to do a bulk action. Send a bulk SMS. It's going to send 50 people this text. That's the most I can do. I've already written out the text here earlier just to make it easier on you guys so you don't have to watch me painfully type. And I can come in here, type the message, and click on Send SMS. It's going to send that text message to the first 50 people. And then what I can do is go to the next page which is going to be 51 through 54, and send this text to those people as well. So let's go to the next page. Let's click on all the rest of them, not to leave them out. Send bulk SMS, paste in our message, click on send SMS, and there you go. So now I have sent a bulk text to 54 people who have shown up on my reverse prospecting list for my newest listing to invite them out to set up a showing. So that's a real life example of what you can do with KW Command with regards to mapping your contact data information from a spreadsheet that you create into the Command import spreadsheet, importing those contacts into your Command database, and then again, utilizing the bulk text function to send out that message to all of them. So hopefully this.
All right, so for me, the example is okay. I would probably just email all those people from a reverse prospecting standpoint based on the amount of work to do that. But there are so many other ways in which you can utilize your ability to bulk or mass text, not just your database or prospective clients, but also other people. For example, let's say you've got a few agents that you know that you really like, that you're in a good relationship with. You want to bulk text them an invite to a training we have coming up with Gene Rivers, right? In your database, go through, select them, text them, hey guys, great event coming up. Love to see you there. This guy's amazing. He's going to help you lead generate your pants off. I'll carpool with you. Boom, send. Right? And then get that text message. The one good thing about this is some of the trackability of it that you can do behind the scenes as well. So, any thoughts on that? Also, it's kind of a cool takeaway to see how easy it is to import contacts into your database and tag it out and do things on the front end. So I know a lot of people what they've been doing is either importing and then going in and adding stuff, or doing it one at a time. I mean, look at the way that it put all those tags in there instantaneously is pretty remarkable. It can make life a lot easier just to do it all at once, push it in there, and then you're good to go. Carrie looks overwhelmed by that one.
I'm totally overwhelmed. Just because I've got a lot of concerns.
Well, the Excel stuff sometimes can become overwhelming if you're not like some of the Excel stuff he was doing. I was like, oh, so one last one for you.
It's all good. I have to go for a showing, so I'm
Okay.
gonna be out of here.
It's okay. You're just gonna miss the best one. No big deal.
Well, my brain's full.
Good afternoon.
See you later.
Good afternoon,
Good luck
Keller
on your
Williams,
showing.
and welcome to day 47 of the Command 66-day
This guy's name
challenge.
is
Marty Miller with
Go
Summit
online.
Property Group in Houston, Texas.
This is gonna be
Coming to talk to you today about custom landing pages for a listing. So if we wanted to create a custom page for one of our active listings, we could come into Sketchhouse. First, we want to create a template for this landing page. So we're going to say create custom template. Let's call that listing landing page. And this is going to be a web-based template. So we'll choose web and create that sketch. First things, we want to add a few widgets to this page. So let's click on the widget button. Let's start off with a branded header. Kind of shows our information. Next, we're going to want information about the listing. So we'll add in the listing here. Next, we'll scroll down a little bit further. Let's say we wanted to go ahead and include some local insight information after that. So we'll put that in. And we'll go down a little bit further. Whoops, here we go. Scroll down and scroll down. And let's say after the insights, we wanted to put in the local, let's see. We want to put in, we're going to need the legal footer, and we're going to put in, let's see, where is it? And you guys can kind of come through and play with each one of these and decide which one you like. But let's put in your local expert, which is more branding about us, which looks really good. And then we'll put the legal at the very bottom to make sure that we are compliant. So legal footer at the bottom. So if you go through, this is what the page preview is going to look like. You can kind of see we start off with the branded header. Next, we have the listing information. I'm going to scroll down. Then we're going to get into the local expert, which is our information. We have the insights here in the middle as well. I'll skip past that. Sorry, local insights, your local expert, and then our legal footer. So we're going to click on Save Changes. And it's going to say the template has now been updated. And then we want to go ahead and customize the landing page. So we'll say, yes, we want to leave the site. And now it should bring us into the actual template. So first of all, we're going to name it. I've been using the townhome listing that I have, so that's not going to change any, Wax Myrtle Lane. So we'll change that name. And next we're going to come into the branded header. And we can put in the header text. Let's say, welcome to 811 Wax Myrtle Lane, just enough characters. I've got my headshot as my branding. I don't have a background image yet. We're going to work on creating some of those this week so that I can put those in. And yet we're going to leave that blank for right now. And then name, telephone number, email address, and my team logo already all included. So let's click on apply changes. Next, we'll come out of the branded header widget and go into the actual listing widget where we're going to choose the listing and put in the address so we can pull it up from the KWLS system. There it is, Wax Myrtle. So we'll select that. And once you choose the listing, you're going to have 3 options as far as photos you want put in. So you can choose what the header image is, which is one of the images that shows up right off the bat. I've always liked this kitchen shot, so let's do that. Next, the featured background. So let's say maybe that main living picture is a good one. And front carousel image, let's just choose the outdoor one. So I've got 3 photos selected for each one of these. You cannot select the same photo, so make sure that you have 3 separate photos, and then you click on Apply Changes. And finally, we'll come out of the listing widget and we'll go into the local insights. We're going to put in the actual zip code, which is 77079. And then you would see any insights that you have created or all insights. And you can see right now there's not a ton of insights in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the elementary school. And then this looks like it's going to be a wine bar. So we'll add that in. And this might give me an idea that I need to go ahead and go into that area and add in some extra insights in 77079. So I could click on Apply Changes and then come back out of the local insight widget. From there, I want to go back up to the top and you can kind of see, okay, so here's the information about the listing. Right now, I am aware, and we're working with the labs team, that the MLS that we use in Houston does not import the exterior and interior details. So that's something that labs is working on with our MLS to get that corrected. And then you see the photo gallery down here. All right, so you have the carousel running of all the photos. It has some recommendations as far as some different insights that have been put in. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see it'll have the previews for the marketing information and then the legal footer at the bottom. So we'll get through all the way through that and we can go ahead and click on publish. And I'll say, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. And now I have created a specific landing page just for this listing. So I can click on that URL and here it is. Here's the actual landing page that's been created for this listing. So in tomorrow's challenge, we're going to show you a couple of different opportunities that we have to use this landing page as a call to action and some other things there. So for right now, I'd recommend going in, playing with the Sketchhouse template, then create a listing landing page template, and then go ahead and customize it for one of the active listings that you have. Again, tomorrow we'll work on applying that listing landing page to a couple other systems that we can utilize within Command. Hope you guys are all staying dry in Houston and across the U.S. having a fantastic Sunday. And as always, I'll look forward to speaking with you tomorrow.
So you can copy and paste that, put it in Facebook, and then
Facebook,
feeds off of it.
email, Facebook it, text message it, whatever you want. And actually, you can make it even easier because if you just use the Facebook AdWords program, you can push it out that way. But it's free. It's tailored to you and it automatically has lead capture built into it. And when you capture a lead, it goes straight into your database. It's unreal. They used to charge you money to do that.
Right.
All these other third-party service providers. And now you can tweak it and then customize it fairly quickly. And the cool thing about it is too, you just type in the MLS number and it pulls the info in there for you. You don't have to go and upload your own
And that's all through
pictures. Sketchhouse.
Sketchhouse.
Yep, which is one of the ones on the front dashboard I'll show you.
So can we do this for any listing or does it have to be ours?
That I don't know. I want to say you could probably do it for any Keller Williams listings for sure. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I will have to ask.
I mean, we could get leads off of other listings, but I don't know if it's legal or not.
Well, it has to do with reciprocity. And for example, and I've never had a problem with this in the Twin Cities, but I feel like in Rochester, I've seen people get bent out of shape about it, which is if a new listing comes on MLS in the cities and I like it, I'll just copy and paste it, throw it on Facebook and say, amazing, this just hit the market. You know, let me know if you want to take a look at it. I've been told that if you do that down here and it's not your listing, you might miss some people.
Here's sure get pissed.
Yeah, but what cracks me up is, well, that's literally what the MLS is. It's everybody sharing all of our listings.
Right.
So now if I said, check out my newest listing and it wasn't mine,
Oh, yeah,
that would
that's
be
not
the issue.
truthful.
Yeah, that would be the issue. But as far as I'm concerned, you should be thanking me for the free advertising and promotion of your listing.
Absolutely.
That's just me. Or I would, or you could do fine print disclaimer listed by Edina Rip. You know what I mean? Which is what all the other websites do out there, is to get by it. So that's kind of just a bit. Although while I'm on here, I'm gonna search for. So this is the guy. His name's Marty Miller. If you go into command and you follow this guy, these are predominantly all of his videos. I follow him. Anytime he produces a new video, I get an email and I just go and I just check it out because he's got good stuff. It's not just hokey stuff. He kind of goes into and shows you, like, from an agent standpoint, what a lot of the good stuff really is. But while I'm in here, I wanted to search for Twilio to see if he has a video on that.
Have we gotten to a point yet where we can do neighborhood landing pages for past clients? Is that ready to go yet?
It absolutely is.
Because
Okay. Let's see. Before I do any of that, make sure this is.
there's some areas that you could, there's others that you couldn't.
Oh, you mean like in the actual geographic area?
Yeah.
That's still definitely in development. Yep. Let's just take a look at this one and see what he's got here.
What's this one for?
In this video, I want to show you how you can do bulk editing and actually apply bulk actions to your contacts in Command. You're going to want to come into Command and go to Contacts. And when you start highlighting at least more than one contact, you're going to notice this Select Bulk action. From here, you could do a bulk add notes. So if you wanted to filter your group and add a note, like you had a client appreciation event and they all had a tag, that'd be a great way to group them and then add a note to all those contacts at once. You can also archive. Archive is your ability to actually put it into the archive in settings and then be able to hit delete. Check out my other videos on how to archive and unarchive. You also have the option here to select bulk SMS. This is if you use the Twilio service. This is a paid service that you have the ability to actually send bulk texting and messaging to your contacts through Command. Now, this is still being tested out. If you aren't sure about using this service yet, you might want to hold off a little bit, but we are labbing the process of being able to use that, and Twilio is an actual extra service that you can pay for. However, you have that option inside of Command. You can add bulk tags. So if I wanted to tag all of these people for that client appreciation event, let's say, or for all those who came to an open house, I can do that as well. You're seeing the future of being able to send these contacts to my dialer. So we're starting to work on integration of a dialer into the Command system. You can add to an email list.
Remember how I just showed you reverse prospecting? Well, you could do the same thing if you got a list of cancels or expires or dispos.
Send them a voice message.
Put them in your database, and then use your dialer to start hitting them up. Be great.
Which will be your ability to send your group list for Command through MailChimp and sending out mail. You'll be able to share contacts. This is
anyway, that being said, I mean, I highly recommend hop on there and play around. Most of the videos are 5 minutes or less. Then you can, I usually just pull up my computer or whatever and I just start playing around with it at the same time. I watch the video.